Bants or bullying, bants or bullying. We're playing a game called Bants or bullying, bants or bullying, bants or bullying. It's rarely bants, it's usually bullying. I'm a bit worried that they can take away my Twitch access for doing that thing that I just did. Don't worry, I'm going to cut this section as well. Although part of me is tempted to leave it in, I think I'll get more humour out of putting a 28 minutes of deleted scene in there. Anyway, I now have to pretend I didn't say any of that either. I should probably make a note to remember to cut that. Anyway, let's have a look at RCM Cape. Whew. Oh, I should probably change back my trousers, shouldn't I? What is composure? Fuck it, I'm going to leave my nice trousers, nice shoes on, I think. Right. It's alright, I won't tell if nobody else does. As long as I edit carefully, nobody will know that anything untoward happened unless they watch the VOD on the Twitch channel. And who's going to do that? Anyway, where were we? Right, I'm back now. Nothing's happened. You've not missed anything. And I'm going to grab my jacket. Oi. Oh. Trade-off. A police clerk made from heavy tarpaulin. It would be nigh wind and waterproof if there weren't 3 bullet holes scattered on the surface. The signature white rectangle of the RCM covers the garment's back. I've got bullet holes in my jacket. Interesting. It is +1 EDC. Oh, and +1 shivers. Yes. Oh. Okay, some minor clipping issues. Yes, that is suave. Yes. Yes. Nice. Okay. The adventure continues. Collecting rainwater. I don't know, is that door locked? Let's have a look up here. No, let's have a proper look around up here first. All around you, great machines and quiescence. White pine trees are printed onto the screen covering. Looks like a forest under snow. At least 3 packs worth of cigarette butts. Numerous empty bottles of Commodore Red and potent Pilsner. Well, I've been up here already. Wow. Treasure trove. Don't judge me, Kim Kitsuragi. Somebody's been up here drinking and smoking.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud.
So this is where René works. I'm going to look around.
If you must. But please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot up here.
Oh, okay.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a framed photograph on the table.
Oh, so my options here are take the picture or leave the picture alone. I can always put it back, I hope.
It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man, Rene, is dressed in a Royal Carabinieri uniform. The girl is young and very pretty. She is smiling playfully at the camera. Rene looks like he's about to smile. This photo must be tied to some good memories.
Why did you take that picture of René?
I'm going to ask him about it. I'm a cop. It's instinctual to collect evidence. I'm making an artistic photo collage. I'm a cop. It's instinctual to collect evidence.
Fine. But let's move. I don't want to be seen snooping around here.
Fine, Kim Kitsuragi. I didn't actually want to steal the thing. I was just interested in... Let's not talk about the photo anymore, Kim. Bah! The tyranny of correct pronunciation. We'll have no time for that, thank you very much. Okay. Can I get back out? Yes, there's some stairs. Okay. There's nobody in here. The radio is emitting strange buzzing sounds. Oh god, I hope he's not been murdered.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, "Tokens unavailable due to strike. Use change."
Right, I'm not putting some of my well-earned, well picked up off the street money in there. Is that a book? Book La Fumée, The Smoker, Volume 1, Number 4. Ooh. The leading intellectual organ of Martinez communism, of the radical Mazovian perspective on a range of contemporary issues. The cover features a stylized portrait of the late King Faisal with a pair of white antlers growing out of his head.
Front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Faisal. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover.
Why Frisell?
Because Faisal was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see.
Flip through the pages, see what catches your eye.
To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white.
How are revolutionary pamphlets going to be taken seriously if they don't have big splashy colour pictures inside?
After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections. International developments, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note.
Let's read the editor's note.
Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, Du cristal à la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turned to smoke under communism.
Man, these communists are very dull.
But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée, unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel. La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers.
Okay, so I'm not saying the editor is an arsehole.
So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
Whisper, Kim, I think this is a communist magazine. Play it cool, pretend everything's in order. It's almost like the devs know communists, says Mark. I don't know. I think we're being very unfair to the communist ideology. Maybe, probably not. Play it cool, pretend everything's in order. Do I want to find out what Kim thinks about communism? Kim, I think this is a communist magazine.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. They're probably bankrolling the thing.
You think that the Bardier's Union might be communists, Kim Kitsuragi?
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
I want to see what they mean by local concerns. It might give me a heads up before I speak to Evart.
Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dock workers' strike. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbour red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. First we take Martinez, then we take La Delta.
A surprising lack of headlines saying things like, everybody's going to be shot by out-of-control mercenaries.
Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside Apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent.
Interesting. Damn communists. Should have killed a lot of them when we had the chance. No. If it weren't for the wild pines, all these moochers would be out of a job. Again, no. Charging rent just to live somewhere is pretty outrageous. Mark, what do you think on that one? Wouldn't it be better for everyone if labour and capital could reach some reasonable accommodation? That is the wishy-washy middle road of the ultra-liberal, I suspect. I'm tempted. Why should I care? This doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm an adventurer, detective, goddammit. Charging rent to live somewhere is pretty outrageous. Wouldn't it be better for everyone if labour and capital could reach some reasonable accommodation? I'm worried that I might lose subscribers if I go for the wishy-washy neoliberal middle way here. So I'll do that. Wouldn't it be better for everyone if labour and capital could reach some sort of reasonable accommodation? I'm feeling reasonably liberal. It would be quite nice if labour and capital could reach a reasonable accommodation. This is why myself and my boss argue a lot. Although we approach this from different directions. Yeah, wishy-washy liberal it is.
According to these editorials, there can be no accommodation with the forces of international capital or their mucilaginous allies in the coalition. Why do communists love puerile insults? And they wonder why they're always being left out in the cold.
If writing empire plots has taught me nothing else, it's that the best compromise is the one that leaves everybody unhappy.
Judging from the context, it's something very large and fundamental. You should probably know about it already, honestly.
I do know about the coalition already.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Let's have a look at Kunst and Kultur.
It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst und Kultur must mean arts and culture.
Okay, arts and culture makes a lot more sense than what I thought Kunst and Kultur might mean.
As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist spotlight featuring a local artist identified only as CS.
Cindy the Skull?
The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tournée, a critical Mazovian perspective.
Read the profile of CS.
This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A, made all the briefer by the subject's evident hostility to her interviewer.
Yeah, that's Cindy the Skull. Just a moment, what is Tip Top Tournée?
The actual article is surprisingly light on details, but after skimming a page or two, you gather that it has something to do with motor carriage racing. If you don't follow it, you only ever hear about the ludicrous sponsorships and obscene death toll.
Okay, thanks, Encyclopedia. I'm not sure what you've added there, but, at least you're making an effort now and you're not insulting me, so I'll take it. All right, let's see what these communists have to say about Tip Top. It might be... I wonder if Kim is into Tip Top.
You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season, maybe sprinkled with some nice anecdotes about a few of the more colourful drivers.
I'm guessing that is not the case.
Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip Top Tournée.
Wait, is Matt Pennington writing for communist magazines in an alternate universe?
Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships. And then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes.
Hang on, who wrote this stuff? What's so bad about sponsorships? What's wrong with a good motor crash? They just keep it interesting. Hang on, who wrote this stuff?
Oddly enough, this article has 2 bylines. Nasteb Encolada Bernal and Exilus Buka.
Okay. What's so bad about sponsorships?
Under capitalism, the article says, every pursuit has its price. Every pleasure, even one as elemental as the joy of racing others around a track, is reduced to an advertising opportunity.
Okay, yes. Perhaps I should have expected nuance from.
Thus, the so-called tournée becomes a competition between increasingly meaningless brand signifiers. Your discount laundry detergent racing against a pack of Astra cigarettes, or even a Frita.
Right, but then you get to see them crash, magazine.
And that precisely is what's problematic about it. Were it not for the promise of random, spectacular violence, audiences would quickly lose interest.
I feel like there's subtext here.
At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're really watching for.
No, I'm pretty sure I like it for the racing, magazine. Wow, you're right. I really am just in it for the violence. Okay, let's imagine for a second that I'm watching racing. I guess I'm in it for the... I'm in it for the racing.
Sure, you think that, but subconsciously, it's the visions of brand names being engulfed in flames that you crave.
Are you sure, LeFou, because I think you're talking out of your backside.
This flimsy magazine is right.
Oh, okay.
Deep down, you know the only true stakes are life and glory, or death by fiery dismemberment.
I guess I've never thought about it that much, Half-Light, you dangerous lunatic.
That's because you haven't been reading critically.
Oh,
but
God.
don't worry. The whole point of these sorts of articles is to let someone else read critically for you.
Ah, right, now I get it. Oh, man. You can see why it's so important for us to keep politics out of gaming. Kim, did you know Tip Top Tournay is actually an orgiastic ritual of capitalist destruction? I had no idea. Kim, this article says that no one really watches Tip Top Tournay for the races. Kim, this article says that no one really watches Tip Top Tournay for the races. What do you think, Kim?
Oh, come on. Can this article read your mind?
It seems to think so. No, I guess not. It seems to think so, Kim.
A certain kind of young man reads 1 or 2 books and suddenly thinks he understands the secret structures of reality.
Wow. That sounds like some sort of damning indictment. You'll be telling me... No, I'm not going to make a joke about game design.
If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor, much less a motor race. I take whatever they write with a large grain of salt.
And you are not luring me into saying anything about LARP academics either.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
I should put the magazine away, but I feel nervous about not clicking the only highlighted option that I've not clicked yet, so I'm going to do that instead. I want to catch up on international developments.
This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations and the Free State of Semenine. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border, something about bear wrestling in Samara, book riots in Yugograd. Face it, you really aren't interested in foreign affairs. You're not even sure where most of these countries are. You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Scott has said, I had to read a bunch of LARP academic articles recently, and my brain hurt on like 4 levels, and I'm going to laugh at his pain. And Mark is saying, I wonder how you're classified by gaming academics. I don't think I'm classified at all. LARP academia doesn't talk about, the largest, arguably, and most successful, arguably, best LARP game in Britain, ever. I think we're not Nordic enough for them. We don't talk about diegesis enough. I'm not bitter. I'm a bit bitter. But it makes me laugh, basically. I might have to cut this bit, but one of the reasons I've been chucking at this magazine is not because I've ever read any communist writings particularly, but that certain elements of this resonated with me from my brief readings of some live role-playing academia. Anyway, moving on.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate, political opinions somewhere in Martinez.
Okay, I see this is the political quest starting up. You must be mistaken. I'm a real radical. That's me, Mr. Reasonable. Someone's got to keep it sane around here. This is because I keep saying none of the above to political stuff, isn't it? This is because I keep saying none of the above to political stuff, isn't it?
It's also about that, but it's also more. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's a temporary surge of serotonin, but something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the kingdom of conscience.
Okay, so we've said no to communism. We've pretty categorically said no to any racism or fascism that's tried to attract our attention. First, let's find out about the kingdom of conscience. Where is this kingdom of conscience?
It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times.
How do you bring about those circumstances?
Incrementally.
There is a sexy word that already has my attention.
Yawn. You'd get there faster with a little speed.
Shut up, electrochemistry. Grown-ups are talking.
History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place. Too quickly.
Oh, man.
That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment.
But what about all the things that are wrong now? Okay, but what's the kingdom of conscience actually like? What about all the things that are wrong now?
Tisk tisk. Just because you live in the present doesn't mean you have the right to place your needs above the needs of the future.
Okay, you're losing me a little.
You may never live to see the kingdom of conscience. Your children may not. Even your grandchildren might not. But that's no excuse not to keep working.
Okay, you've dragged me back a little bit.
What benevolence.
Are you being sarcastic, Volition?
What a fucking joke.
Shut up, electrochemistry. Wait, is the kingdom of conscience really about doing things or just preserving the status quo? Yeah, I'm suspicious. Also, shut up, electrochemistry.
Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed?
You. What I dislike is the fact that I feel like they are leading me in an attempt to get me to complete a political questionnaire in which I will discover things about myself, and I resent that. Yes, the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed. Maybe. Oh man, is this white privilege? This could be white privilege.
There you have it. Sometimes holding the line is progress.
Okay, but what's the kingdom of conscience actually like?
The kingdom is difficult to comprehend and even more difficult to describe. Partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories that define and limit it today. The kingdom of conscience is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual.
Sounds incredible. Allons-y, let's go there right now. Opt in. That seems fine. I still want to live for the present, though. Opt out. Man, that sounds kind of terrible. I don't think I want to be a moralist anymore. Opt out. I can't help but feel like I'm learning the message that all of the political ideologies are fundamentally flawed in some fashion, but I think I've sat on the fence long enough I'm going to make a firm decision of all the political options that have shown up so far. Wiki what? Fuck it, opt in.
Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow?
I'm going off for you, empathy. Alright, then let's get there eventually. Oh, man.
That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revachol. When that real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we are all going to be so much happier.
I feel like I've made a terrible mistake. But it's an incremental terrible mistake. And I don't remember being offered many wishy-washy kind of socialist options so far. Oh man, I'm feeling... This game is doing an excellent job of making me feel judged all the time. It's worse than having a cat. Someone left the coffee machine on. The dark liquid in the pot looks almost sentient. I could do with a coffee. A standard office file cabinet. The drawers seem to be locked. That drawer's not locked.
On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
Back to looting like a murder hobo.
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
You're right, Kim Kitsuragi. You may want to turn around and look at that typewriter on the desk for a moment.
Let's see what's inside, he thinks.
Open the drawer.
The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized selection of brown folders.
You are right, Scott. I'm gathering intelligence. Evidence, rather. Browse through the folders.
Hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muindi, Grad, and even Ilmara. And the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. Kuron, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock are listed among the many districts where the imports are being sold.
Anything interesting?
It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry.
Focus! Force myself to go through the folders. I have the volition. My volition is high, 92% success. It's a white check. Here we go.
Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is a little handwritten note stuck on the side of the drawer.
Let's look at the note.
It appears to be a to-do list written in large, uneven capital letters. Remember, Leo, Everart's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everart's plants, sweep office floor, more banners.
Everart's shoes? Also borscht, plants and floor. But shoes, there was a promise of shoes.
All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled.
Look, Kim, a to-do note with a list of errands for Everart.
Everard Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union. One of his aides must have left it. Nothing incriminating here.
Did you not hear the bit about the shoes, Kim Kitsuragi?
What is so special about this borscht? Code for drugs? Booze? Blood?
Shut up, electrochemistry. It is quite possibly borscht, but I could talk to the cook in the Whirling in Rags.
Remember, Leo.
Yep.
Everart's shoes. Special whirling borscht. Water Everart's plants. Sweep office floor. More banners.
Why would I... Interesting. Can Everart not water his own plants?
All items on the list have been... The drawer slides shut smoothly.
This is a Dewey typewriter. The model name is on the back. Every worker is a member of the board, is written at the top of the flyers. Door's locked and can't be opened from this side without a pass card. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to worry about how I'm going to get back out of here. Oh, a postcard. Le Jardin 21. Let's go and poke around in their bathroom for evidence, Kim. Drugs. Sorry, healing gear. Oh, neat office shades. +1 visual calculus, -1 drama. Okay. These were stuffed away in the Dockworkers Union office. They're perfect for scribbling down paperwork when the sun tries to get in your eye. Good for staring down suspects, too. Mark is saying, ooh, visual calculus. I do need to remind you that when it comes to things like visual calculus, I am over here talking to Inland Empire and, well, electrochemistry, obviously. Right, okay. It looks like most of the people in chat were sinister nerds. Do I want to find out what that is?
Yes?
Oh, sorry. I can spare 10 cents, can't I? Who would I ring?
The already familiar cold touch of plastic welcomes you as you pick up the handset.
Was I trying to find a phone for some reason? I don't think so. Let's try it.
The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move.
Oh, okay. Let your muscle memory dial a random number. Okay, let's try that.
It's unclear whether you actually have muscle memory.
Yeah.
Right now, your finger is just drawing vaguely occult patterns in the air.
Useful patterns interfacing?
Undoubtedly, no.
No. I might try this again later.
Sure, why not? Muscle memory is a tricky thing. Nothing tricky about that. You just do, fail, repeat, until it works. All it takes is motivation and practice.
Thanks, physical instrument. That's quite cheered me up. There's a chance I might actually put some point into interfacing. Very Dale Cooper. Yes. That, more pronunciation tyranny. If I want to pronounce Revachol, I shall. Oranje. Okay, so I thought that might have been the office, but it is not. So, we are off to explore a little bit more of the harbour. Don't mind me, Measurehead. I'm meant to be over here.
Control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marsh and Ret are faded with use. It seems to control the large crane above. A container is attached to its hook block.
Go and stop.
Allume on, éteindre off.
Okay. I'm not dicking around with the crane. I'm too hungover for working heavy machinery. For a start. What is this? Oh, proper cash. You see faded industrial lettering on the platform. Kvalstund. I feel like I ought to have a hard hat. Oh, I bet you this is something telling me I ought to have a hard hat. The shipyard ahead is oddly quiet. The great machines are sleeping. Wait, am I very high up in the air on it? I am. Okay. I'm suddenly a lot less confident about running. A pile of cargo belts used for heavy lifting. One says vermilion. Evidence. This place is bigger than I was expecting, I've got to say. Oh, nearly halfway to tomorrow's rent. Industrial-sized thermos. Smells like burnt coffee. Wow. I'm just coining it in. Oh, bollocks. If I can head back out, I want to talk to that guy who sat on by himself. Yeah, let's talk to the guy outside. What do I need to put up to put my health up, I wonder? It's probably endurance, isn't it? I wonder if... A temporary boost to endurance will give me stats. Sorry, health. The banner sags under the weight of rain and snow. White waves on red. Communists.
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container, put the logos on.
That's quite a catchy tune.
The accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi, from the vanishing peninsula of Ubisunt on Muindi.
Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, container, now belongs to Everard.
This is the Leo from the post-it note, I suddenly realise. The tiny man is so engaged in his work he doesn't notice you. Hi.
Everard, 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 he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister?
I'm going to have to stick a content warning at the start of whatever video I do for this segment, warning any of my Scottish viewers about the very racist accent they're about to encounter.
The look in its deep blue eyes is as sincere as you've ever seen. Kind of makes you feel like an arsehole for no apparent reason.
Honestly, Empathy, I do not need anybody else to help me feel like an arsehole.
I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
A shadow passes over his kind face. What is it with you people and scabs? Easy, Leo. Actually, I am, yes. I'm not a scab. What is it with you people and scabs?
I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat.
He doesn't seem to be waiting for you to answer.
Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister.
You're Ubi, right? What are you doing with the containers? Where is everyone? The harbour is empty. Do you work here? Are you the Leo who wrote the note to make more banners? What's in that container over there? Point to the container suspended from the crane arm. I'm looking for the leader of Dock Boats Union. You're Ubi, right?
Oh, yes. Born and raised in Irish, mister. Mum had to leave my dad after he got a bit violent.
Ooh.
Took us here to the new world. I was about 10 then. Too old to lose my accent then. People say us Ubis are up to all sorts of trouble with sheep and other animals and whatnot. I just want you to know there was never any of that where I come from. No, sir. Those are just nasty rumours.
Thank you for clarifying that, sir.
Where is everyone, Ubi? The harbour is empty.
Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in.
He leans in with a confidential look.
We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Everard is in his office, where he always is. And Jean-Luc is guarding the gate.
He pauses to think.
But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Everard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so.
He stops, but seems eager to tell you more. This guy's like a pixie. What trouble did Titus and his friends get into? Got it, but there are other things I need to discuss. What trouble did Titus and his friends get into? I've not heard anything about that.
Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business.
He smiles and leans closer. This guy may be from somewhere called Ubisunt in whatever it was, Mundi, but I think he's a Malathian, frankly.
Him and his boy stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Everett telling them to take some time off.
Don't go all bad cop on this simple, friendly fellow.
I'm not going to go all bad cop on this simple, friendly fellow. When have I ever gone bad cop on anybody? What did they actually do? Really? Did they kill someone? I have another question. But what did they actually do?
I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. That's just how boys are, you know. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school.
Yeah, I'm putting, for the minute, tentatively, I'm penciling Easy Leo in on my list of people it would be okay to hug, alongside Tommy Lahom.
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this on the hard ease.
He looks to you for assistance. Too rowdy. Leo, what kind of fight did they get into? Did they kill a mercenary? Okay, Leo, let's hear about this fight they got into. Yeah, we're going to go with the too rowdy one. I still don't think it's bad cop, but I know some of what's been going on. I want to get some confirmation.
Too late. Leo's mouth is still moving, and the words are spewing forth. Words, words, and look, even more words. This guy could go on till the end of days. Now he's talking about some drunk sawmill owner who... No, he already switched to a prized fishing rod he apparently owned at some point. You know what? Just cut in there with your questions.
Okay, fair enough. What are you doing with the containers, Leo?
Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
He waves at the containers towering behind you. Oh, that's a red check. I'm scared of red checks. But when am I going to be increasing... No, come on. Sure, let me ask you about something else.
Sure, mister. About what?
You work here. He clearly works here, idiot.
Yes, yes. Everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard, by the way. Leonard Bellick. But everyone calls me Leo.
The little man raises his hand in a welcoming gesture.
I'm like Mr. Everett's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar is out of town, and Mr. Edgar's right-hand man when Mr. Everett is away.
That's right. The leader of the Union of Twins, allegedly.
Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's a lady.
I'm going off him. His good-hearted chuckle is making me want to punch him. Does that make me a bad person?
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
The lieutenant looks up at Leo.
A real pretty lady with a skin like those douce sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sit down beside the radio. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here and I'm always busy keeping things running here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Stay on this Miss Beaufort topic.
Okay, Volition. Hold on. Who's this Miss Beaufort you mentioned? I think you're doing a great job around here, Leo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this place would totally fall apart if you didn't shine the bossman's shoes, Leo. Don't be a twat. Hold on. Who's this Miss Beaufort you mentioned?
Oh, Lizzie. She is a real sharp tool. Mr. Everett put her through some fancy school and everything, east of the river. 4 years she was gone, and
Right,
when
okay.
she came back, she was all fancy and lawyerly.
Right, that would be the lawyer who is hanging around with the Hardy Boys.
But she's a real nice girl. Grew up in this here neighborhood. Knows everybody and gets along with everyone. Real pillar of the community one day, I'm sure.
For a fraction of a second, there's sadness in his eyes.
If me missus and me was to have a child, I'd be real happy if she turned out like her. But she can't have kids.
Right, that's moved into the area of too much information, Leo.
Dr. Lemaitre said so. And she knows about such things. Been a doctor for almost 50 years, she has.
He sighs and falls silent, watching you meekly with his blue eyes. I think you're doing a great job around here, Leo.
Yes, this place really seems to run like clockwork. Keep it up, Leo.
The lieutenant smiles at the man. Kim Kitsaragi likes him, and that's a good sign.
Well, thanks a lot. Coming from you, it means a lot, really.
You didn't think it was possible, but the smile becomes even wider.
Sometimes I feel some of the guys don't really get how much I bust my ass for them here. But you guys are all right.
The white rectangle on your clothes might not mean an awful lot in Martinez, but the recognition from an authority figure made Leo's day.
Okay, that's good. I'm not going to ask him about the note to make more banners, because he's clearly making more banners. I don't want to let on that I've been in the sealed filing cabinet, so let's find out what's in that container.
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them.
Ah.
They're just waiting to be loaded up.
I'm looking for the leader of the Dockworkers Union, Leo.
Oh, you want Mr. Everett then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this here neighborhood.
He coughs, then continues immediately.
Guys like Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Mr. Everett and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school we did when we were boys.
Patience. Deep down you have the mental power to keep listening. Not many would, but you do.
I knew that point of relation was worth it. I'm not going to interrupt Leonard.
Had an arithmetics teacher, Miss Bellows. Her real name was Miss Bellams. She was a real pretty lady, but when she got mad...
It's the laugh.
All the boys liked her, if you know what I mean, mister. We used to sneak in her yard in the dark and peek through the window. One time we saw Miss Bellows with a fellow. Yes, we did, mister.
He looks for signs of disbelief in your eyes. Don't say anything. Keep quiet and keep talking. It's going to turn out that Everard or Edgar beat somebody to death, isn't it?
Them was naked too. That's all I got to say about that.
Keeps nodding and looking at you with a smile that's too sincere to be clever. Very interesting, very interesting. Thank you for telling me the whole thing.
Thank you. Almost forgot. Mr. Everard is in that container over there. I got distracted telling the story, but he's in there.
Okay, I'm off.
Bye-bye now.
He returns to his work. That was interesting. One of the problems with streaming it weekly, kind of, rather than playing it all the way through in 48 hours, is I'm sure I'm missing some of the connections. But I guess that is what a second playthrough is for. The coffee in the giant thermoses is still lukewarm. What is it with all this lukewarm coffee? What is the point of lukewarm coffee? I stare made of pallets leading up. Right, this would be Everard. A taxidermy fish that tells time? I should nick that for Garte. And a fishing rod. Interesting. Okay. Let's have a look at this guy. Fat fella, yellow shirt. Big desk. Okay.
Before you is a walrus of a man, seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you.
He looks like a goon. A deadly goon.
With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you. A typical power play. Wait for him to speak first. Show him you've got a backbone.
Will do, Volition. I shall say nothing and look him dead in the eyes.
The one good eye of this man fills you up without even flickering. The other, his lazy eye, is constantly moving like a goldfish in a tank. Grotesquely magnified by his +6 glasses. For a moment, you don't know where to look. It is unbearably humid in the trailer. Beads of sweat slide down the man's forehead.
Stop. This is getting too weird. Keep staring. I can keep staring. Volition said to do it, and I'm nothing if not somebody who listens to Volition.
At first, nothing happens. His face wears a wide and self-satisfied smile. Every now and then, he smacks his big lips.
This is one of those comedy scenes that goes on uncomfortably long, isn't it?
So...
I was not expecting that voice. He begins to speak, albeit very slowly, purposefully leaving a pause after his opener.
Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi, how nice that you found a moment to pay a visit to the Debardairs Union. I'm Everard Clare, head of this little operation here.
Okay, that is certainly a voice. And I am apparently Mr. Dubois. Okay, I can cope with being Mr. Dubois.
Please, have a seat.
He gestures to a tiny folding chair opposite to his giant desk. Another power play. I know this one.
The folding chair looks like a torture device. Extremely uncomfortable.
You go ahead, detective.
The lieutenant nods at you, then the chair.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best.
Yeah, cheers, EVC. Thank you, Kim Kitsuragi.
Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Okay, Inland Empire. Take a seat. I'd rather stand. Why are you calling me Mr. Dubois? Actually, I'm in a bit... Well, I'm not leaving. It's taken me fucking weeks to get here. Why are you calling me Mr. Dubois?
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
I wonder if he's... There's nothing on the... I wonder if he has my badge.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's nothing. Forget about it. Filter it out.
Fuck it, let's take a seat.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another.
He gives you a sly wink. Is he coming on to me? Remain serious. Try to wink back. Damn, this chair is uncomfortable. Try to wink back. Scott points out that this is an encounter tent-sized room, and so this can happen at Empire. Absolutely, yes. Even the trick of just putting you on a tiny, uncomfortable chair while somebody like Calidus reclines backwards on a massive chair on a dais. Try to wink back.
So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
Right down to the stupid voice.
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
Wow. I was not expecting to take damage from a chair.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say.
I don't know. I'm mellowing towards Gart. Empathy has given me some insights that made me despise him less than when I first met him, and I no longer want to frame him for murder.
This should take care of that nonsense.
He points at a giant novelty check on his desk. It's absolutely comically huge.
It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
He points at it again. Oh.
Hey, that's 25 Ria. That's good money. Think of all the stuff you could.
Shut up, electrochemistry. I do need stuff, as Mark says. That is true. I need a boombox for when I find a tape so that I can do karaoke, and also the murder. So let's have a look at what our options are here. Wait, do you know Garter? Thank you, Everard. Take the comically large check. Take the comically large check, but don't say anything. Keep it, I'm good. Leave the check. You can take that comically large check and shove it up your ass. Leave it. Okay, let's find out. He knows Garter.
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man in him. A real piece of work, that boy is.
With a grin, he points to the checker game. It's like you're on a game show. At least don't thank him for it.
He's trying to bribe me. I'm no longer as desperate for money as I used to be. I've paid my rent for tonight, so I've got at least another day's worth of game in me. I'm not going to tell him he can shove it up his ass, but everything about this scene is about power plays and stuff, and so, keep it. I'm good, Everard. Ha-ha.
Okay, okay. I respect a man with principles. No handouts, then.
He crosses his arms on his ample midsection and sinks further into his chair. This man is clearly a buffoon. Buffoons are harmless. I should not worry about him.
Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
Oh. Okay.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only two words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun.
I've just realised this is basically a fight scene, isn't it? It's just happening in the context of a conversation with a jolly, amiable buffoon who is certainly not a threat to me, in that I've now taken 2 points of damage from this exchange. How do you know about my lost gun? I'm not worried, I got this. I would appreciate any help you can provide. How do you know about my lost gun, Everard?
I know everything, Harry. Right now, I know that you're worried. Don't be worried. Everything's going to be all right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
Kim, turn to Kim. Composure, challenging 12, don't panic. This is a red check. It cannot be retried. I'm going to try and not panic. As we discussed previously, 3% means 3 times in 100. 3 out of the 100 alternate universes this button press will prompt. I will make this check.
God,
I
you're
did not
sweating.
make that check.
Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your gun and those children are going to shoot themselves with it.
This is brilliant. No, I'm not about to cry. Try to stay cool. So what? Men can cry too. I'm sorry, but I have to say, so what? Men can cry too. I'm a sorry cop, and I can cry if I want to. And a man, and I can also cry.
You want to cry? God, you're weak. Whatever you do, don't cry. You'll think you're disgusting.
I'm not going to cry.
Mr. Dubois, you don't look so good.
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating. What is he trying to pull here? You need to cool the fuck down. Chill.
I'm going to chill. It's fine, composure. I've got it. I'm just sitting on the fucking awful chair that is violating my backside.
Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois!
Oh!
Harry!
The large man snaps his fingers, but to no effect. You're in some stupor. Oh, he's beaten me. Keep sliding down the chair like a jello shot. There are no Harrys. Let your mind go to your safe space. I should have stood. I knew when I came in I should have stood instead of sitting down. I'm not going to let this guy drive me into my safe place.
While Everard is distracted by your odd behavior, the lieutenant's eyes are mapping everything around you. The folder, desk, papers on the wall.
Thank goodness for Kim Kitsuragi.
Mr. Dubois, are you okay? Can I get you a glass of water or something? Are you having some kind of medical emergency?
I'm telling you now, this NPC is turning up in the game I'm running. I don't know where and I don't know when, but he's definitely turning up. That bit about repeating the name repeatedly with concern is such a useful little trick.
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
Nah, I'm as good as it gets, Mr. Dubois. Vaguely gesture with your hands above your head. Oh yeah, man, I'm fucking great. Keep sliding. Actually, this chair is uncomfortable. I could use that glass of water. Sit upright. I'm melting. Actually, this chair is uncomfortable. I could use that glass of water. Sit upright.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it was, I'm afraid we're wasting our time. And I'm an extremely busy man, as I'm sure you are too.
I am Mr... I almost called him Mr. Dubois. Fuck, he's in my head.
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together and ask him questions. Police officer questions.
See reaction speed? I knew he was on my side.
It is about time to stop embarrassing yourself. Questions will help you regain some of your lost dignity.
Okay, questions. We can do questions. We've got 9 of them. I'm told the union is involved in the local drug trade. I've just finished investigating the local drug trade. Aren't you going to ask me how I got in? You called me Mr. Dubois. Why? Could you help me get a dead body down from a tree? Let's talk about my lost gun. I want to talk about the hanging. I met Joyce, the company representative. Evart, I'm going to leave now, but we might talk again later. Okay, I've just finished investigating the local drug trade. I have leverage.
You've got a lot of spirit clearing up the drug problem alongside this murder. I'll talk to the mayor and see if I can get you the key to the city, Harry. Now, let's talk real business.
Not even a speck of anger in his voice. That's that then.
Okay, so maybe I mishandled that. Fuck you, Evart. Fuck you. Aren't you going to ask me how I got in? You called me Mr. Dubois. Could you help me get a dead body down from a tree? I want to talk about the hanging. Getting the dead body down out of the tree is a goal at the moment, so let's start with that.
You might have noticed there's one hanging on a tree behind the hostel cafeteria.
I can't help but feel that Kim Kitsuragi does not like Mr. Everett.
Oh my. Don't take this question personally, but why would I get involved in this matter?
Because your fucking goons strung the guy up there in the first place, you person.
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt, a steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to assume the Union had something to do with the murder.
Plus, of course, Mr. Hardy told me they definitely did it.
Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
Yeah, the belt thing. Say nothing. You're a community leader, help your community out. You're a community leader, help your community out. You fuck.
I can certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values.
He licks his fat fucking lips and smiles. Oh, man.
But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you.
He picks up the handset of a radio phone to his right, then clicks a button.
Jean-Luc, my boy, I'm sending 2 police officers down. They have a dead body in a tree problem they need help with. Namely, they need it to be taken down. And Jean, please take it easy with the race science. That's a yes to getting the body down, no to the race science.
He hangs up and turns back to you.
You can find Jean-Luc down at the gates. He's the big, impressive one. You know, tattoos, muscles, ethnic looking. Can't miss him. Great guy.
I want to talk about the hanging.
Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to help you, like I'm helping you with the body. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me.
I sense there's a but.
But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Uh-huh.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines, incredibly talented at opening doors.
I've opened a few doors in my life. You've heard wrong, Everett. We're not. Kim, is that true? Are we door-opening machines? Kim, is that true? Are we door-opening machines?
I'm not sure I understand. If you're asking us to break down someone's door, it's not going to happen.
You tell him, Kim Kitsuragi.
Come now. I just need you to go open a little door for me and leave it unlocked. A simple thing. Absolutely nothing shady about it.
Oh, well, if there's absolutely nothing shady about it, let's bring it on. This is a side quest I can do.
Does this jiggling ooze think he's going to use you? He's got another thing coming. Play his game, son, with your eyes peeled. He's going to slip up.
Yeah.
And when he does, you're going to come out on top.
Yeah, physical instrument, you are a great cheerleader. Why don't you just open it yourself? Whose door is it? I bet you don't even know anything about the hanging. Damn it, fine, I'll look into it. We need to talk about that murder. I can't accept this thing. Refuse the test for now. Whose door is it? That's the key question here.
Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about.
What do you mean by a weasel?
A loud blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly.
He removes his glasses and rubs his nose. Is he talking about...
Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry. I just want this to be over so I can discuss business with you.
He puts his glasses back on. Why don't you open it yourself, Everett Clare?
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do. You look like you could run around all day.
You want to send someone a message that the police are working for you.
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi. and therefore I must occasionally enlist outside help. So what will it be, Harry?
I bet you don't even know anything about the hanging.
Harry, my dear friend, I am what people call a local bigwig. I know everything that goes on in Martinez.
Damn it, fine, I'll look into it. We need to talk about that murder. Accept the task.
Fantastic, my friend. Just let me know when it's done and we can take our friendship to the next level.
He flicks his fingers.
You can get the key from Manana. He's down by the gates. Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operations. Hardened socialist. A real free thinker, too. He'll tell you precisely where the door is. One last thing, Harry. Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door.
I met Joyce, the company representative. I met Joyce, the company representative.
Oh, that's very nice. I haven't gotten around to her yet. I'm very, very busy, you see. I hope you're getting along. One thing I want to make very clear, Harry, is that this is not some kind of union versus corporation situation. Everyone is just pals here.
Just pals?
We're all trying to do what's best for Martinez here. Don't feel like you can't cooperate with her, because you and I are such good friends, and I'm helping you get that nasty body down from the tree. I'm not a jealous guy.
Whoa, that's so nice of him. Suspiciously nice.
Thanks, suggestion. I'm glad you think so too. Are you sure? I find it a little odd. What happened to the previous negotiation, Mr. Gaumont? Joyce said the previous union leader vanished under suspicious circumstances. Everard, Joyce seems to think the union is lowballing her. Why haven't you let her in to see you? What happened to the previous negotiator, Mr. Gaumont? The one you called Shrimp or something? Or your brother called it?
What do you mean, Harry? Nothing. I let him go.
He made concessions to the company in previous negotiations. Why would you let that go?
He's an old man, Harry. I wanted him to spend more time with his family. God knows how long he's got left.
You called him a midget.
Harry! I have little people in my organization. I would never call someone a midget. What is this? Honestly, I'm beginning to think you're a midget, Harry. I'm only kidding, Harry. You're not a midget. No one is. We're pals.
Oh, God. Okay, so he's lying, or the twin brother, or the multiple personality disorder?
It's hard to say if he really lost his temper, or if this is another one of his tricks. This man almost never angers visibly.
Okay, so dangerous then. Joyce said the previous union leader vanished under suspicious circumstances.
Vanished? Harry, the woman left her casserole in the oven and couldn't make it here in time for the voting. Oh, did I leave my casserole on? Better go home and check. The election can wait. When she got back, the whole thing was over.
Wait, there was no mention of a casserole from Joyce.
Funny, Joyce didn't mention any casserole.
Harry, Harry, Harry. Do not fixate on this little matter. Maybe it was a rabbit stew, or a hairdryer, or an iron.
Oh.
The point is, her heart wasn't in it. Mine was.
Okay, so he's definitely a twat.
That much is true. His heart truly is in it, though you wouldn't think so by looking at him. If it's spilled blood you're looking for, then there certainly isn't any in his expression or demeanor now.
Okay. Eva, Joyce seems to think the union is lowballing her. But of course, he doesn't have to have done any of these things if he has an actual sinister twin brother, stroke, multiple personality disorder.
Yes, yes. Low balling, of course. This isn't a casino, Harry. Real people, real livelihoods are at stake here. But everything's a casino for those rich types.
His expression makes it clear. This is childish and irresponsible behavior.
Why haven't you let her in to see you?
If she actually wants to see me, she will find a way.
Oh.
Any good negotiator
Yeah,
would.
true.
And I just don't have anything to discuss with a bad negotiator.
I'm trying to imagine Joyce jumping through the air over that railing.
He doesn't want to see her. It's as simple as that.
He doesn't want to see her.
I'm just a nice guy, Harry. I wouldn't be where I am now if I wasn't nice. Politics is all about emotions, and I want you to have positive emotions when you think of me.
It's not going to happen, Everett.
Okay then. Positive emotions it is. You like positive emotions.
Ah, shut up, electrochemistry. I should have known you'd be on his side.
Of course, Harry. Let me just assure you one more time. It's perfectly okay to share anything we discuss here with this Joyce. This is a completely transparent organization.
Aha.
I have no interest in what she is doing, but I myself have nothing to hide. Your business is your business, and I respect your privacy. Just remember, none of this is secret.
None of this is secret.
Tell her about all of it. My brother's picture, my singing swordfish clock. Tell her how overweight I am and how I'm helping you find your lost gun. Tell her about everything. Everett doesn't mind.
You're a monster.
This is weird. Not nice weird, but okay.
Let's talk about my lost gun, Everett. Come on, Kim knows everything.
Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, everyone.
Wow.
Your gun will be found, Harry.
Oh.
Let me assure you of that. It's just a matter of time and effort.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
Okay, thanks, rhetoric. Hold on, could you really hold my gun hostage? Wait, the gun may have been bought from Roy's pawn shop. Have your men factored that in? I will not be blackmailed with this gun business. I don't care about my bone. Keep it. Does this mean if I do things for you, I'll get my gun back? Wait, the gun may have been bought from Roy's pawn shop. Have your men factored that in?
Yes. Thank you for the hot tip regarding your lost gun, Harry. My men have indeed factored in that you pawned it.
You don't know me, Everett, Claire. Shut up.
Now, please, let the professionals do their job.
Oh, fuck you.
Kick back, Harry. Relax. I have great guys on this. You focus on what's important. Building our relationship for the good of Martinez.
It did not come as a surprise to him. He might actually not be bullshitting.
I will not be blackmailed with this gun business.
Harry. I was only trying to be tactful. A lost gun is a dangerous thing. I can't have it around in my neighborhood. Kids could be playing gun roulette with it as we speak. Teenage gangs could be arming themselves. Get a hold of yourself, Harry.
I assure you we are working on locating the missing sidearm as well.
We are, what Kim said.
The lieutenant is concerned about the lost
I am
gun
too.
and feels that the fact you haven't prioritized looking for it is unfortunate, if inevitable, and doesn't put the RCM in a good light.
Had a lot on, Kim.
Excellent, Mr. Kitsuragi. That's excellent news. Looks like we have a friendly gun-finding competition on our
That
hands.
has been the subtext all through here, hasn't it? Anyway, okay, so let's dive in. You called me Mr. Dubois. Why?
Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everett. I call you Harry.
I'm Harry Dubois. Wait, am I a character from Streetcar named Desire?
That's what the hanged corpse called you. Harry.
So that's really my name?
My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that?
Shut up. I'm also a sorry cop, thank you.
I think the odds of that are very low.
It's true. My memory's a bit hazy. Fuck it. We've been given advice to just be upfront about this, so fuck it.
I assure you, there's nothing to be ashamed of, Harry. You're among friends, and the good news is...
He taps on the folder in front of him. Wait. I am definitely a cop, aren't I? There's no possibility that the real Harry Dubois is dead and I have accidentally assumed his... No, because... Have I actually interacted with anybody? Oh, yes, okay, no, yes. The girl at the bookshop. The girl at the bookshop. I think. I'll have to go back and watch my own video. but I think the girl at the bookshop knew me as a cop.
I have a big fat folder on you, Harry.
All right, here we go.
I'm sure you have a lot of questions to ask. Maybe I can help you out.
Don't trust him. For all you know, Dubois might be his name. You need to confirm this.
I'm sure you had some concerns you thought I might be able to address. And you were probably right. I can.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
The lieutenant inspects Everard over his spectacles.
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now.
You watch how you speak to Kim Kitsuragi, Mr. Clare.
Asking too many questions will make you look weak. You should maybe focus on the folder.
Fuck it. Is this red? It's a red check. Have another look at that folder. I've read shipping folders before.
As you look at the folder, Everard covers it with his hand and pets it. He's hiding it from you because it's not a real RCM folder. It's just another one of those brown folders you saw in the file cabinet.
That's not an RCM folder.
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them.
He got the name from the Census Bureau, and everything else from your actions here in Martinez.
Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi from the Census Bureau. Like I said, now I'm actually a very busy man. So is there anything else I can do for you, Harry?
Wait. What do you think?
A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being.
So the Census Bureau says my name is Harry Dubois.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on.
Everard, I'm going to leave now, but we might... How do I get out? Everard, I'm going to leave now, but we might talk again later.
Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate.
All right. Thanks, I was wondering how I was supposed to get out. Great, wouldn't want to get stuck in here, Mr. Clare.
Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white Union man. Take care, Harry.
Fuck you.
The 15th Indo tribe.
Ooh, okay.
Because there was. The 15th Indo tribe was comprised of 8 kids from Forberg and North Jamrock, running from wild dogs in the valley, hiding scents under rocks, and stealing clothes off clotheslines, and sometimes even the copper wiring of phone lines. You may have been one of them. This must be a childhood memory. The 15th Indo tribe was your Indo tribe, set to rule in Celinda. The rest of the kids are dead now.
Oh.
Car accidents and drug overdoses. Only you remain.
Oh. That's depressing. I got just talking to Scott. I got the 15th Indo tribe from talking to Joyce. It just took me a while to bother to put it into my thought cabinet. I've got an experience point. I am almost tempted to forget some of my thoughts so far, so I can start working. Or I can just. It's interesting. I can either forget them for an experience point or add a new one, and I feel like -2 half light. Yeah, okay, that is fair. None of them are actually harming me at the minute. So forgetting them is something I should do when I run out of slots. Right. It's 6:30 now. Okay. The musk of oil and rust comes from the chasm in front of you. It smells like blood. Oh, some Fallon Ultra Series gloves. Okay. My current gloves are +1 interfacing, but the Fallon gloves... For ultimate performance efficiently, these Fallon Ultra Series gloves come fingerless and with a grippy padding covering the palms, making these ideal for quadrupedal movement or for lifting cargo. +1 half-light, okay. I'm going to leave Thought Cabinet for the minute. So 11:04. The speaker tower is silent. There is no work to organise in the yard below. 11:14. Yeah, that is working. Okay. This is going to help with my money problems if I hadn't been so ruthlessly exploring everywhere. Oh, well. I should open up the harbour tomorrow. I'm not... I need to save it after... I can get the body down, and I'm planning to do that. I'll probably do that before I log off, as it's now 7:15.
2 buttons marked Marsh and Arrête are faded with use. It seems to control the large crane above. The container is attached to its hook block. Elysium on with a loud grind. The crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air.
Let's parler français indeed.
Surprisingly quiet thunk. The crane places the container down.
Evening, Helena, you have missed a whole load of stuff. We finally got in to speak to Everard Clare, and he was
This crane was built with a purpose, which has now been fulfilled. To move this container.
Okay, Inland Empire. What's inside the container?
Who can say? All you know is, it's special.
I can't see how that was worth the records, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
I should probably have pressed stop, shouldn't I? I've been distracted.
Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
Lieutenant, I think there's something special about this container.
Is this like your thing with that wall again?
Maybe. I can't tell. I think we should investigate further, Kim Kitsuragi.
You do? Because I don't.
What? Why not, Kim Kitsuragi?
There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one?
It was hanging from the crane. I don't know, Kim. It just feels special. Inspect the container. Maybe there's contraband in there. I don't know, Kim. It just feels special.
It's a cargo container, Detective. Just like all the others.
He doesn't even look at it. Okay.
We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to talk to the Union, right?
We spoke to the Union, Kim Kitsuragi. You were there.
No reply.
Open the door.
You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanically locked. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement.
Fine. We'll come back here later, Kim Kitsuragi, when you're in bed. Although, interestingly, you have a tendency to get uncooperative whenever we move too close to the supernatural. I wonder if I need to press the stop button to release the cargo. I should come back and have a look at that once he's asleep. We also met a delightful little Scottish fellow whose accent and attitude was slightly racist pixie, which was quite fun. We had a poke around in the apartment building. We talked to a terrible real estate woman. And we found out about communism in this world, whose symbol is an upside-down white star between some Antlers, which is all very interesting. We read a communist magazine. That was quite fun. Red checks can be tried only once. Failed white checks can be retried by increasing the relevant skill. Oh, and we may have possibly allied ourselves with the ultra liberals instead of the communists or the capitalists or the fascists. As I didn't see any opportunity for wishy-washy socialism coming up.
So, how'd you like our harbor?
Was nice enough. Labour Utopia, complete shit. Was nice enough.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains.
He notes solemnly, then turns to you, a wide smile adorning his face.
Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk.
Everard said you have a key to a door.
A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open?
He said it belonged to a weasel. I was hoping you could tell me. I don't know, some whistleblowers, I think. He said it belonged to a weasel?
Oh, say no more. I got you.
He taps the side of his nose with a little wink. I'm not comfortable with this job at all.
I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say.
I got your key right here, as I might say. I saw an opportunity and I took it. I'm a hustle grinder. I heard something about a weasel. It didn't sound like a local polar weasel, if you know what I mean. I'm not opening this door for myself. I'm opening it for all working men. I'm not really doing this for political reasons. I'm not really doing this for political reasons.
Oh, so the none of the above type, are you? I get it. I like to keep my distance too. But it doesn't matter. It's a good thing you're doing. Thanks.
Yet again, I'm being judged for attempting to navigate a middle way through the complexities of this complex... Oh, man, I'm vermin, aren't I?
What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the wailing in rags. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized. Means we keep out of each other's business.
Okay, but where did you get the key from?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter.
His gaze wanders off into the distance.
None of this mess we're in. This jiving and juggling. What's it for? To feed our children, I guess.
Anything else I should know about this task? This weasel person, when he'll be home?
I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are, what we are fighting for.
The man takes a big sip from his flask.
Who he is and what they're fighting for? This is interesting. Ask him about the Hardy Boys.
Actually, do you know anything about the Hardy Boys?
Los Ardis? They're an independent militant group. A bit too high-strung, but it comes with the responsibility.
Nobody likes a centrist. Leave me alone! It is ironic. We spend a certain amount of the Bants or bullying on a Friday playing Civ 6 with Geordies, mocking one of the lads for being a bit of a centrist.
They're sort of like you. Preserve the rule of law and all that. Except it's Everard's law. But really, they're just like you.
Are they really just like me? That's probably one of those things the game is asking me to ask, isn't it? What is the difference between a cop in a place where he's not wanted and a local militia that hangs people?
The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing?
He shakes his head solemnly. The harbour is a prime area of suspicion. In your opinion, are the dock workers involved in the killing?
What a thought! Why would noble workers resort to such a thing? Unless they were pushed, of course.
This is the story about the assault, which I have not had from a first-hand source.
Your dead guy was an enemy combatant.
Oh, okay. Right, okay. Hold up, what does that mean, Call Me Mañana?
He was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our honorable efforts.
Did you kill him? He didn't kill him. The Hardy Boys. Probably.
I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union have all sorts of men, with all sorts of skills.
He means a more violent faction could easily take care of such a thing.
Like Los Ardis.
Understood. This has been of limited use. Still, thank you.
You've just confirmed.
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search. Sure, I'm glad it's not my search.
He takes a sip from his flask. Why are you striking?
We're negotiating our share.
Your share?
Aye.
He seems pleased with himself. Wait, so not wages or pensions or how large a share would you like? Oh, okay, economy stuff, I get it. I want to talk about something else. Now, a few years ago, before I had spent painful amounts of time talking about LARP economics with Matt Pennington, I would have immediately got number 3. But now I am hardened, and I can talk about live role-playing economics for upwards of 10 minutes before blood comes out of my eyes. So, wait, so not wages or pensions or...
This stuff. They already covered.
Shouldn't you be grateful then? It's a lot more than most people have. At least you've got the benefits, that's something. However much you feed the wolf, ... At least you've got the benefits, that's something.
It's not enough. Not enough to get ahead. More about keeping us in our place.
How large a share would you like?
All of it. However, right now
Okay.
we want all the harbor workers to be on the company's board, so they could take part in the decision-making process.
Are you a... Sorry, some cake economy humour in the chat. Are you a communist? The boss man, Everett, what can you tell me about him? Got the picture, let me ask you something else. Are you a communist?
No. I don't think I'm a communist. Seeing something of value and saying I want it all to myself is a much older and simpler notion. No science to it at all.
Are you a pirate?
Even a weak child can think it. The only things holding someone back are I can't and I shouldn't.
Are you a monster? Right on, brother. You shouldn't take what's not yours. Cool, I don't have anything to add to that. You shouldn't take what's not yours.
Then how can anything ever be mine?
Oh, God.
But that's okay.
I want you
We don't
to
have to agree. The prairie is wide enough for all of us.
Fine, call me manana. Anyway, I'm feeling emotionally vulnerable at the moment. I'm having a bad day. The boss man, Everett, what can you tell me about him?
I think it's best you make up your own mind now that you've met him. In my eyes, he is a capable organizer and a decent businessman.
What does bossing the union entail, anyway?
I guess you kind of get to be the village chief. He oversees the harbor, makes deals with the owners or other relevant parties. Watches out for his own.
Just another gang.
By that, you mean corruption?
By heavens, why would he not be corrupt? We live in a harsh and disordered world, see? And in this world, the old man is corrupt for our benefit, and we know it. Appreciate it even. He is, personally, not too lavish.
It's all got a bit brass coast. That desk seemed lavish to me.
He is reasonably lavish, sure. That's his prerogative. It's not like you want a saintly demeanor on a corrupt motherfucker. That would be a manipulative illusion.
No, you are absolutely right. This has gone very brass coast.
Besides, there are no non-corrupt systems in the world anyway. And moralism is the most corrupt of them all.
Is it? You seem to have spent a lot of time thinking about the political situation.
Sure, I've had the necessary free time. Fortunately, there's always time.
The look in his brown eyes conjures up an understanding. For him, having command of his time is the most important thing. It all comes together now. The way he speaks about scabs, his general attitude. He's a follower of a 500-year-old Franco-Nigerian Boyadero code, itself an appropriation of Vespertine cool.
Helena has suggested that she expected the desk to roll back and drop me into the Rancor pit. No, he was too subtle for that. He put me on a really uncomfortable chair that violated my backside. Anyway. Now, what do we know about the Boyaderos? They will strangle people who attempt to get them to settle down and throw them into the river?
That of a noble peasant or a traveling herdsman. True to yourself, independent in your actions, loyal to your friends.
Maybe I am a Boyadero. Doesn't sound that cool. Sounds antiquated, obsolete, passé. It's not disco. The noble peasant or travelling herdsman, true to yourself, independent in your actions, loyal to your friends. Oh man, it's chaotic good, isn't it? Yeah. It doesn't sound that cool. Sounds antiquated, obsolete, passé. It's not disco. It's not even a real alignment.
The man sits on the railing, his hands reaching far and wide, yet it feels as if he could effortlessly go even wider, if need be. an endless torrent of time.
Good talking to you. Gotta run. In actual fact, I spoke to him because I had forgotten that it was Measurehead I was supposed to be speaking to. Right. Okay, here we go. The Greater Revachol Industrial Harbour. Yes, indeed. Okay, here we go again.
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
Everett told you to help us get the body down from the tree, Measurehead.
So it was. You surmounted the harbor wall in a display of athletic prowess to reach my superior.
I only once, too.
Then had him give me an order. I salute your cunning and will remove the body from the tree with my bare hands.
Yeah, whatever, Measurehead. Nobody's impressed by your massive rippling muscles.
You're so noble, Measurehead.
Be quiet, Measurehead's babe.
But while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. Both of you.
Okay, then.
Babe, see that they stay here the whole time.
Wait. Are 3 temptations about to appear before me to try and lure me away from the button? I think I've read this fairy story. I really hope it's not cake, because if it's cake, I'm screwed, because I could really do with some cake.
The woman's gaze follows Measurehead as he leaves.
Mark is helpfully shouting, "Loot the box!" at me like I'm some sort of murder hobo.
So, you guys are like cops or something?
Oh dear. Why are you with Measurehead? Yeah, we're the law around here. Apparently so. We're just trying to keep things from going to shit. Why are you with Measurehead? Let's turn her question round. We're the cops here. We ask the questions.
Look at him. His craniometric perfection. Are you cops or what?
We're just trying to keep things from going to shit.
Have you ever thought that maybe things should go to shit? I'm Katya, by the way.
Barushkins, says Scott, tell tales of the giant racist sovereign guarding the gate.
You hear that? That sound. He's breaking something.
He's probably ripping the branch of the tree down.
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it.
I also wish I could see it. I don't. I've seen enough of that dead body already. I don't. I've seen enough of that dead body already.
Look at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like Everett's lapdogs! Is this where it's at now? The RCM is for sale!
You are almost certainly a sinister mercenary who is trying to kill people, so don't you judge me.
And who are you? What is your business here? Why are your clothes 4 sizes too small for you?
Yeah, you get him, Kim Kitsuragi. We're quite some distance from him. I work with whoever I want. Yes, I'm an unbelievably corrupt cop. I'm corrupt every opportunity I get. That's none of your business. I'll work with whoever I want. God damn it.
A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinez.
Uh-oh.
It's Kuno.
Uh-oh.
Then the man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have sided with Ray's victory today.
There has been no side choosing. I, after all, am an ultra-liberal. Apparently. We did what we had to keep order, apparently.
And what you had to do was to become a Union man for all to see.
I'm afraid I failed to loot the box, Mark, because I was busy talking to the woman. And now I can't get past. Oh, man. Even when I'm trying to do the right thing, I can't do the right thing. Again, I feel like I'm being judged by the game. Stop fucking ruining it for everybody. I'm not talking to you right now, thank you. You're just going to be rude and cruel and make me unhappy. I'm going to go and have a look and see if the body's down. Ooh, what's that? No, missed it. Whatever the thought was. Are you all right?
You missed a good show before. A kid came by and completely fucked the tree to pieces.
He fucked the tree up! Fucked it good! It was porno!
Wish I could have been here to see it. Okay.
Shoot that shit at Kuno, Pigonaut.
I talked to Manana about the armor.
So?
He raised his eyebrows, projecting aggressive indifference.
You should thank him.
Nothing. The tip really paid off. Good job, Kuno.
What? Don't be playing Kuno off as a snitch bitch. The oldest trick in the book, people.
Oh, for goodness sake, Kuno, stop making my life difficult.
Are you snitching, Kuno?
This is some ancient bullshit, people. Kuno would rather take 10 than snitch. Pig's full of shit. Get the fuck out of here.
You found a real nice button to push. Turned the tables on him.
I wasn't trying to turn the tables on him. I was trying to be nice. Oh, man. Every interaction with Kuno is cursed.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
I'm going to make your life better, you fuck. God damn it.
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Beautiful. Wipe a tear from your eye. Well, it's down. Celebrate in a more reserved manner. Celebrate in a more reserved manner.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job.
Oh, God.
Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy.
Field autopsy? Oh, man. I've just had a horrible thought about why the trousers weren't mentioned.
Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue. We are on number 3.
The fuck are they on about?
Pop's gonna cut his shit up!
Don't we have someone else for this? A doctor? Don't we have someone else to cut this shit up? Got it. Don't we have someone else for this? A doctor?
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain, from autopsy to cleanup to social work, everything.
The honorary rank of detective?
An honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able, usually after 5 to 8 years of field work. Mine is lieutenant detective.
Yes, I feel like a detective. I don't think I'm a detective. Yes, I feel like a detective. I've done detectiving.
You are. Your station would not have assigned you on this case if you weren't. Now,
I'm Detective Harry Dubois.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Okay, first, what exactly is a field autopsy? Tell me something, dead man. Try to remove the dead man's boots. Now, I was not supposed to try and remove his boots when Kim is around, so...
come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
Clap your gloved hands. Let's get in there. Let's get back to this later. I should hopefully... Yeah, okay. Let's get in there.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity.
I don't know. What do you mean?
I mean when I need you to.
Oh.
Until then, I should handle physical contact, and you should take notes.
We just fill this in, right? Show him the red field autopsy form in your ledger.
That's right.
He nods.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant is relieved you know the protocol.
Open your ledger at the field autopsy form.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts.
I feel this is going to be awful.
Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with
Begin. 1. Assistant.
That's you.
Right? Harry Dubois.
the corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says
Coroner's case number.
KK57-0803.0815.
Write it down. This is great. This is like a schools program or look around you or something.
Next,
3. Name.
we've heard the nom de guerre. Lely. It's better than nothing. Write it down.
Laley. Nom de guerre.
What's next? Date of birth?
4. Date of birth. Yes.
NA.
5. Age.
Roughly 50.
Right. Roughly 50.
the corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook.
6. Race.
Mondial.
Mondial. Write it down.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
7. Sex. Yes, that appears to have been the problem.
Fucky, fucky!
The little monster exclaims energetically.
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Right. Fucky, fucky. Right. Male. Right. Pig's gonna have sex. Right. Male.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
8. Date of death.
We're still going with March 4th. 51.
0403 51. Well, that should be 0304 51, but never mind. No, it's right. 4th of March. Apologies. I got my months mixed up.
What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's
It
case.
started raining.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
Evidence of treatment.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
I did shoot him a bit.
A strange word. Treatment.
What exactly is treatment, anyway?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
Okay.
Don't overdo it. It's okay to be unsure.
I'm not so sure.
A silent nod. The lieutenant places his gloved hand on the corpse's chest, as if in preparation.
There is some indication that I think that he wasn't... I don't know. But there's more going on here than meets the eye. You can't have a moody police investigation without rain. Very true, Mark.
We should start the post-mortem.
Turn the page.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copy paper tries to answer why.
1. External examination. Summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
He turns the body onto its side. Check the underwear label.
See, it's happening.
You two are not helping. Go back to the Muffets Theatre where you belong.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
I wonder why the game always returns to Quinones as if he's not human.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else.
Now, fuck the boots. Fuck them.
Tattoos.
He stands up, feet planted on either side of the body. I only need to find one piece of armour. I've got a lid on the gloves. I'm not fussed about the boots. I just don't want to steal dead man's boots.
The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white.
Plus, I don't want Kim Kitsuragi to be disappointed in me, and they have done an excellent job of creating that feeling in me.
The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini.
Write it down.
The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end.
Write it down.
Well nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature, below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
Touch the corpse's hair before moving on. Write it down. Short, light brown, male pattern baldness. Touch the corpse's hair before moving on.
The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch.
Stroke his
Wet.
hair. Stroke his hair gently. Write it down. Short, light brown, male pattern baldness. Stroke his hair gently.
The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to the latex of the glove, like thread of a rag doll's head.
Write it down. Short, light brown, male pattern baldness.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the
Alright, okay.
head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Yeah, that's Kuno.
Fucking low velocity. You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Consistent with predation.
Write down, but are meant for high velocity. Write down. I'm not pandering. Oh. Write it down.
Ligature mark.
The lieutenant produces a small folding knife. With the other hand, putting on the belt, he starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut.
The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You've
got
just the right
just
tool
the
for that.
right tool for
Chain
that.
cutters.
The chain cutters.
Good thing we got these chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now,
He points to the rope squeezing the dead man's neck.
we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark
Oh,
below.
no.
Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
Right, I will bet myself a shiny 10 pence piece I'm going to accidentally chop his head off now.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
Yep, thank you, Kuno.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
I'm not your pig, Kuno. Look for a good spot to cut. Look for a good spot to cut. I'm not your pig, Kuno.
You are? You're Kuno's pig?
Concentrate on the belt, not on who is whose pig. There is no pig. There are only the chain cutters and the belt.
Okay, look for a good spot to cut.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the east.
Here we go. I'm only going to get one try at this. I'm wishing I was wearing my my vest, but I'm not, so cut away.
After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow.
Press now.
Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
The lieutenant has kneeled closer, running his finger along the dark red groove until there's a gap.
as it ought to. This is where its grip on the curdled meat is gentlest, pulling up.
Okay, thanks for the instrument. And that visual image.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant. Pelvis intact. Genitalia.
He pulls down the man's underpants.
No! Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Does it look like he was enjoying his moment of death? Inspect the genitals, write it down and move on. Now. Okay. I don't want anybody to judge me, but I'm going to inspect the genitals. My reason being that I think that there should be some sign if he was hung. That he was hung, maybe? In the genital area? God damn it, don't judge me.
The dead man's penis is average sized, congested from the downward collection of blood.
Okay.
The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish. Marbling is present around the crotch.
Right. No, I made a mistake. I should not have clicked that button, and I feel bad.
You should touch it.
Shut up, electrochemistry.
Doesn't feel like anything. Cold spot under your gardening gloves. Unremarkable and unalive.
My pig's so fucking ill right now.
His voice swells with pride.
Your pig's pretty sick, I gotta say.
This wasn't necessary. What's going on here? Why are you doing that?
I'm detecting. Police work. It doesn't have to be solicited. I'm regretting my choices. I'm really regretting my choices here.
The lieutenant is unaware of what's happening in your head and why you're touching it. He merely expects you to write down his notes on the man's genitalia so you can move on.
Write it down and move on.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are all combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip.
I've noticed, by the way, that it keeps referencing the fact that I'm touching things with the gloves on. I wonder what would happen if I took the gloves off and used one of the fingerless gloves, or just didn't have any gloves on at all. I'm not wondering that enough to come back and find out right now, but it's something to bear in mind if I play through again by myself.
Bullets have bitten little pieces out of him. It must have been excruciating, especially the hip. Before you is a temple of pain that knew little tenderness in life.
In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
This is the body of a soldier, a mercenary.
Mm-hmm. We have a real museum here. Battles, wars.
Write it down.
Last item. Hands.
He takes the man's right hand in his, inspects it, then moves on to the other hand. I'm just going to let the lieutenant get on with it. It's just become too weird, and I have been badly thrown by the whole penis business.
Hands are clean. No sign of a recent struggle.
Were we expecting any? Write it down. Were we expecting? We were kind of expecting a struggle, given they dragged him out and hung him.
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment.
He didn't. So the story we have is that the Hardy Boys dragged him out, beat him up, and strung him up. But he didn't try and fight back during that time.
Working so close to the fumes coming from the corpse must be hard. You realize suddenly that the lieutenant has been barely keeping it together these past two items.
Oh, poor Kim Kitsuragi.
Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Oh man, I'm really sorry about this, Kim Kitsuragi. Internal examination.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
I'm not touching it.
You don't even have a joke.
Nope. Right, NA.
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous.
Yeah, it says if he was conscious when they strung him up, wouldn't he have clawed at his neck? That was what I was thinking. There's no sign that his hands were tied behind him, but he was wearing his boots and allegedly his armour, so...
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
Oh, come on, you are not helping.
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable.
I've seen enough episodes of bad police procedurals. Weirdly, it never looks quite as gopping in Murdoch Mysteries, I have to say.
Respiratory system.
Back hunched as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. He stops to exert more force. Both hands are used.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
Like he'd been hit.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. Hyoid ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands.
Look inside the dead man's mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his. No, you don't. You can keep it in. You can keep anything in.
Push my luck.
You manage to suppress the contractions trying to enter your stomach. All it takes is concentration. Through it, you see nothing but darkness. More meat and darkness. There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me later.
What the fuck? That is not my normal... I'm sorry about this. This is a really effective horror description. I keep trying to remind myself that this used to be a guy, but it's tricky as hell. What is Inland Empire talking about, and what was that voice?
Hemorrhaging present in mucus.
The lieutenant repeats impatiently. He lets go of the jaws. The mouth snaps shut before you write it down.
Hepatobiliary. NA.
Why, don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
He looks at the corpse's stomach with a mixture of tiredness and disgust. I don't think so.
Neither am I.
Right, NA.
Same for toxicology and serology. NA.
Right, NA.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging. Gastrointestinal.
He breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around, to the ground, the pool of feces there.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
He touches the corpse's bloated lower abdomen briefly. Write it down, omit the voila.
What's next on the list?
Okay, 3. Description of injuries, summary.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
What about the injuries we have inflicted?
Oh, so we inflicted them?
Okay, I have inflicted.
Okay, so there's a spin-stabilized munition from a Kiel A990 muzzleloader lodged in his lung.
Yeah, well, whatever. Whatever.
I don't think we should mention that. Better not to muddy the waters.
But isn't that sloppy?
Be pedantic if you like, it doesn't matter. No one else is going to investigate this man's murder. And if they do, such details would only confuse them.
See? These pigs are fucking corrupt.
The boy nods approvingly.
Why don't you fuck him if you love him so much?
Come on.
Now, injuries.
1. Bite marks.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted.
write it down.
And your opinion, officer?
Beneath the description, there are 2 boxes waiting to be ticked. A. Opinion fatal injury. B. Non-fatal postmortem. B. Non-fatal postmortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
The lieutenant's admission has caused great gratitude in Kuno. He is silent with it. Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Non-fatal postmortem.
Right. Next?
What's the 4th injury field for?
Nothing. Just in case.
3. Ligature mark. Finish the autopsy.
A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible.
I cannot get over this. Did he die of being hung? Kim seems to think. But the lack of clawing and the lack of damage on the hands, was he already dead? It is a compelling police procedural story. If he was killed by the person he was allegedly attacking, and that they've done all this to try and conceal that, that would be in keeping with this kind of police procedural. But the story that they dragged him out here and strung him up also works from all the evidence we have. I've not got enough, so I think I've got to go with fatal injury. He was alive when he was hung, and the hanging killed him.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start.
Yes, I agree with Helena. I don't think this hanging was fatal, but there's no evidence that it wasn't.
Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
First, how did it go?
Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy.
Okay, we're still on probable, so Kim Kitsuragi isn't 100% any more than we are.
We were thorough with the list of injuries, too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
Oh yeah. Well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order?
Perhaps a drink, is it? No, wait, shut up, electrochemistry.
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg.
Rip out a copy of the autopsy pages.
For processing.
He looks at the dead man one more time, then at the slip of red paper in his hand, then at the corpse again.
He's thinking, did I miss something?
Tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, loony rooney.
At the autopsy, you said you have ancient mysteries.
Oh yes, Kobo Milobo, in the gift horse's mouth. Tracks and wakes and waterways. Ancient materials buried.
Yeah, but to where, brother?
Just a small gulp away. My beloved Kobo. A small gulp away. Maybe I was getting my rocks off.
Forget it.
I know what this means. More questions.
Enough.
Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible. Also, see me in your dreams.
I think I will be seeing you again in my dreams. Look in the mouth. 3%. Oh, well, as I said every time tonight, I think this is my third 3% check, and that, if nothing else, is just increases the likelihood of it passing 3 out of every 100 alternate universes.
You run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. Maybe you should be more thorough.
Look under his fingernails like Kim already did.
His fingernails have turned dark. They're chipped and quite long. There is dirt under them. That's all.
Do you think we missed something?
You can't shake the feeling that there are more secrets concealed in the flesh before you.
Yes, there's something we're not seeing. I've got a gut feeling there's more to this corpse. Notice, yes, there's something we're not seeing.
Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another examination.
I know
we need to do it fast. Hey, wasn't there a giant ice bear sarcophagus below that building?
Yeah. He points towards the commercial area.
Why, yes, there was. It was massive. Red eyes glowing in the dark.
An absolutely colossal fridge, still plugged in, literally in the shape of an ice bear.
Yes. Now, I've rarely been disappointed by the size of a giant ice bear fridge, but I think we should still take a look at it first. Make sure it's big enough before we carry him over. Let's move. With every hour, whatever we are looking for in the deceased will become harder to find.
Right. And on that merry note, with us having completed the autopsy and planning to put him in a giant ice cream fridge on the off chance that my crazy insight is correct. And no, actually, it's not even crazy insight. We know there is something wrong here. He did not fight back against the mob of men who took him out and allegedly hung him. Something is not adding up. So next time we get to... And the chimney, yes, good point, from Scott. So next time we play, I am going to head over there. We're going to have a look at the fridge. We're going to put him in the fridge. It's 8:15 now, which means I might be able to get his boots after... No, I've put the boots down on the form. I'm not stealing the boots. So I'm feeling like we've got somewhere. We've spoken to the most horrible man in Martinez so far. We've got to find out more about what that weasel key is about, because I do not trust that in any way, shape or form. We should probably step back and speak to Joyce. I'm quite pleased. When we started off, I was a little despondent about how the investigation was going, but we seem to have made strides forwards, and it's still only Tuesday evening. I might have that drink that electrochemistry keeps trying to get me to take. After all, so let's do incredible progress to the bear freezer. And thank you all for coming along. It's been a really pleasant evening, and I will see you all, hopefully, next time we play. Bye-bye, folks. Bants or bullying, bants or bullying. We're playing a game called Bants or bullying, bants or bullying, bants or bullying. It's rarely bants, it's usually bullying.